Good day, everyone. Welcome for the new day of learning. This day, I will be discussing about the Republic Act number 7277, which is an act providing for the rehabilitation, self-development, and self-reliance of disabled person and their integration into the mainstream of society. So, uh, from the word rehabilitation, this is the integrated approach of physical, social, or cultural, or keep or improve abilities wherein it is physical activities or physical skills, mental or being learning and thinking. So again, this is an act protects the rights and the functions of a disabled person. Okay, uh, as we go along as we go along of our discussion for today, so you can learn more a lot. Okay, uh, so as you have seen the picture or image, what comes in your mind? Okay, this is a discrimination of persons with disabilities. Is this a situation is real? Is this situation is reality based on the current situation that we have for today? Yes. So many persons with disabilities is being discriminated due to their physical identity or either mental disabilities and other, wherein it is not good of our society for today because discrimination affects of different people in having disabilities, either is it is physical, psychological, or or sensory impairment. So since this is not good, so we disseminate this kind of situations that we need to change. So now let's proceed to our discussion. So what is RA 7277? Okay, so before let's but before we go formal of our discussion, we should know first the learning objectives. At the end of the discussion, the students are expected to, for knowledge, define and understand the sum of general provision, right and privileges of disabled persons, provision, uh, and discrimination against disabled persons, and the final provisions of RA 7277. For skills, the students are expected to articulate and provide ideas about the problems, situations in education, specifically in RA 7277. For A, which is effective, it is students are expected to actively participate in oral or group activity. So let's proceed of our formal discussion. Okay, RA 7277 is cited and known for Magna Carta, which is for disabled person. It means this act is uh, is is prohibited to the persons with disabilities. Wherein persons with disabilities are the part of our Philippine society that we need to respect, give support of them because they have the right of our society regarding the improvements of that community that they are belong. Okay, now let's proceed for our discussion so that we are all know about the rights and responsibilities of disabled person. Okay, this act is covered for all disabled persons in our country. So wherein disabled person means this is the person suffer the physical identity or different sensor, either it is psychological, as we uh, as I mentioned earlier. Disabled person are those people experience either a physical problem or physical disabilities or mental disabilities or sensory impairment. So let's proceed. Okay, what are the rights and privileges of disabled persons? Uh, this person with disabilities have the right of employment. Is it true? Yes. Yes, disabled persons have the right or equal opportunity for employment as the same as the other people. They have the rights to have a suitable work for them wherein they can work well, and they can function well of their of their self regarding the improvements of their position, and they have also endeavor and provide of sheltered improvement of our government. Okay, next is education. So, may I ask you, class, are those people with disabilities have the right for education? Yes. Disabled persons are given of our government of special education, access to quality education, and assistance also for disabled person. Our government provided them and with adequate access to quality education wherein they develop their skills, their special abilities, and other activities wherein they are involved wherein they are engaged on learning, and they are also provided for assistance of our government, like for example financial assistance, where they can provide their needs of themselves, wherein those needs is very important for them to develop their functions and their social interactions. So okay, let's proceed. Next, next is the special education. Persons with disabilities are given support and maintain a complete, adequate, and integrated system of our government. They they are a min, they are also given the culture and sport activities of our government that are distributed in the public schools, cities, or municipalities. Okay, and let's proceed to health. So, of course, person with disabilities are provided the good health of our government, wherein our Department of Health with with the coordination of National Council of the Welfare of Disabled Person, or NCWD, where provide national health program wherein a disabled person are being what they could that one is being prevented of disabilities, whether occurring a prenatal or recognition and early diagnosis of disability. So, people can prevent those uh, those problems, and also and also our national health of our Department of Health provide early rehabilitation of the disabled. So, persons with disabilities are provided those services wherein they are being prevented of problems that they may have uh, in their lives. So, also the persons of disabilities provided these activities wherein they are where where they are being socialized with the other people. So they are also provided necessary uh, auxiliary services that will restore the social functioning and participation in that community affairs. For example, assistance in the acquisition of prosthetic devices and medical intervention of specialty services. Okay, so next is telecommunication. Also, persons with disabilities are given opportunities to have a communication with the other people. They are be given the television program and that telephone services. Our government provide them the program wherein they are be given those technology that they can enhance their social functioning or social communication for other people. Okay, next is accessibility. So, let's proceed to accessibility. May I ask that persons with disabilities are have the rights to have access of different technologies, or or do do they have the right to live in that community with, and they are free to move or to use any different vehicles, or or do they have the right to live in that environment free of barrier? Yes. Persons with disability shall ensure the attainment of barrier-free environment, and they have the right to access public and private building establishments and other services that mm, that is being mentioned on that, on accessibility law. So what is accessibility law? Now, accessibility law is a law wherein a disabled person have the right to to go along with that community, and to and to socialize their rights and their and themselves to function well in that community, and they are given the rights to live in that community with free of barrier. So now, let's proceed to political and civil rights. So a disabled person also have given the right to vote, either or who or he or she want to vote on that election program, and they are be guided for the person being subjected to assess for them. So let's proceed to the prohibition on discrimination against disabled person. So according to the section 3, employment and entrance examination. So upon an offer of all employment, a disabled applicant may be subjected to a medical examination on the following occasions. So meaning to say, a disabled person when he or she want to apply those companies, so she may be experienced or subjected to medical examination. It's because disabled person should know what are their capacities on their abilities of working. So they are be subjected of examination, uh, if they are enough to be a job employer on that company. So for example, all entering employees are subjected to such an examination regardless of disability. So information obtained during the medical condition or history of the applicant to collected, maintained, and treated. So based on the results, the company will base on the result that if that person with disabilities is good. Okay, so now for our last discussion, let's proceed to our final provision. For so now, according to Section 45 authority, of course, the court may grant any equitable relief that has court considered to be appropriate, according to the extent required by the account. For the act, granting temporary, preliminary, or permanent relief, and providing an auxiliary aid to service modification of policy, practice, or procedure, or alternative method, and making facilities ready accessible to. So now, may I ask you again, is there a penal cost of those people of those people of, of those people violate this act? Yes, those people who violate this act may be suffered for the following violations. For example, if one person violates in one time, they are given or uh, or they may be imprisoned in less than a month, but not more than 6 years, and they may uh, and they may also experience a penalty wherein 50,000 or above. So uh, as a as an individuals, we should respect for those people who have disabilities, because uh, according to Republic Act number 72 77, people with disabilities have the same right of us, and and wherein we need to respect between, because of course, they have the same opportunity for us to uh, to have a good environment in that community wherein they can function well, the same as what we have for today. So now for your assignment class, uh, this is a two questions only. So first questions is for your assignment, as a future teacher, uh, we cannot avoid that our learners need for educational needs. So what, as a future teacher, what can you do of your students if he or she might be experience a discrimination or a discrimination of their classmates? What are the steps that you need to do to avoid that situation, or what steps that you may that you may provide for those students uh, to keep their focus on learning. So the second assignment is, please conduct a research or interview for those persons with disabilities, and you need to ask questions for him, uh, why he or she become a disabled person, and 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 how it affects of being a disabled person in his or her belongings in that community. And class, thank you for listening. That could be all our discussion for today. I hope you learn a lot of this our discussion. So thank you for listening and watching and for my discussion. Again, class, thank you for listening. God bless us all. Goodbye. Okay.